Good morning, this is Rashad Mitchell comes to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue on my part series. The professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. This is part 50. Um, this is gonna be this video is gonna be about 2013 St. Louis Cardinals. Now this St. Louis Cardinals team definitely should have won a championship. They did make it to the World Series for the first times in the last 3 years. They had made it to the NLCS in 2012, but lost to the San Francisco Giants. 2011, they beat Texas in 7 games. So this, if you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan, you had you experienced a lot of success for your team at that time. The Cardinals were really, really good. They were very in contention to win championships during that period of time. In 2013, they entered into the 2013 season with an all-time winning percentage of .518. Okay, the record from 2013 was 97-65, and despite having to navigate early in the season around the loss of key players, Chris Carpenter, Jason Mott, Rafael Furcal, Jamie Garcia due to season-ending injuries, so upset these depletions, the St. Louis Cardinals tapped heavily into their farm system. In May against the Colorado Rockies, rookie starting pitcher Shelby Miller set an all-time franchise record for a 9-inning game score of 98. Starter Adam Wainwright accumulated a franchise record of 34 2/3 innings before issuing his first walk on April 23rd. And earned the National League Pitcher of the Month honors in June. First baseman Alan Craig produced the third highest individual batting average with runners in scoring position at 454. As the Cardinals set an all-time Major League team record at 330, rookie Matt Adams led the team in slugging percentage at 503. Second baseman Matt Carpenter, playing his first season at the position since turning professional, earned an all-star selection as he led the major leagues in hits, runs scored, and doubles. And all 20 rookies appeared in the game, and the Cardinals collected 36 victories from their rookie pitchers. So the 2013 edition set franchise records in fielding percentage, pitching strikeouts, and strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. So holding off the fifth competition from the Cincinnati Reds and Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cardinals clinched the division crown as each team won at least 90 games. The Cardinals finished the season with a National League best 97-65 record. They opened the playoffs by defeating the Pirates in 5 games in the National League Division Series. Now they advanced to their third straight National League Championship Series. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a Cardinal fan at that time, during the early part of that decade of 2010s, this team was really, really competitive. They really, really was a championship contender. They made it to the third straight National League Championship Series. They defeated the LA Dodgers, in 6 games for the 19th National League pennant. Rookie Michael Walker, who had nearly no hit the Washington Nationals late in September, continued his dominance throughout the postseason as he allowed no runs against the Dodgers in 13 innings pitched, earning the MVP of the NLCS. It was the second straight NLCS appearance to which manager Mike Matheny guided the Cardinals, who became the first manager to appear in the ALCS in his first 2 seasons. Rookie closer Trevor Rosenthal extended a 20-inning postseason scoreless streak that started in the 2012 National League Division Series. Now, unfortunately, the Cardinals met the Boston Red Sox World Series and unfortunately lost in 6 games. All right, so let's look at the teams, the stats, players that stood out. Now, the pitching staff of the St. Louis Cardinals got a lot of publicity. They were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the 5 starters. They were on the cover May 27th. Adam Wainwright, Shelby Miller, Jamie Garcia, Lance Lynn, and Jake Westbrook. At the time of the magazine's release, Garcia and Westbrook were on the disabled list. We're gonna look at the team that stood out before I get into the World Series. Alan Craig had 97 RBIs, 13 home runs, batting average of 315. Yadier Molina had 12 home runs, 80 RBIs, 44 doubles, and 319 batting average. Matt Carpenter had 199 hits, 55 doubles, 11 home runs, 78 RBIs, 72 walks, had a 318 batting average. Matt Holliday had 22 home runs, 94 RBIs, had a 300 batting average. Carlos Beltran had 24 home runs, 84 RBIs, 296 batting average. Some players that stood out. All right, let's get into the postseason. World Series against the Boston Red Sox. See how things went. What went wrong for the Cardinals? Now this was the first World Series where since 1999 to feature both #1 seeds from the American League and National League, so both teams were really at the top of their game. John Farrell was the manager of the Red Sox, and Mike Matheny was the manager of the Cardinals. So you had two teams that was 97 and 65 that had the same identical records. So we're gonna look into it. Get this game, look at this matchup. All right, game one. Boston had the home field advantage due to the fact that the American League won the All-Star game on July 16th, so that was based on that. They had the home field advantage. Being the American League, the Red Sox had the home field advantage. So we're going to look at game one, where the Red Sox beat the Cardinals by a score of 8-1 in game one at Fenway Park. John Lester pitched. Adam Wainwright pitched the two aces. And the Red Sox did a great job. They won 8-1. They got up to a 5-0 start through the first two innings, and just dominated the game. So let's get into the details of it. After Boston started, John Lester pitched to score his top half the first inning. St. Louis ace Adam Wainwright found trouble in the bottom of the inning, where he walked leadoff batter Jacoby Ellsbury, and after an out, Dustin Pedroia single. Wainwright then got David Ortiz to ground to second base, but Matt Carpenter's flip was mishandled by shortstop Pete Cosmo, ending the possibility of a double play. Cardinals have been awarded a force out at second base, but after confirming the umpires ruled that Cosmo never had control of the ball, so Pedroia was reinstated at second base. With the bases loaded and one out, Mike Napoli doubled to left center, scoring Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Ortiz, the latter after Shane Robinson misplayed a carom off the wall The bottom of the second inning, Stephen Drew led off with the pop-up in the front of the pitcher's mound. Wainwright and catcher Yadier Molina both converged, but both let the ball drop for a leadoff single. David Ross then singled to center field. Go back to where it was. You see, Wainwright and catcher Yadier Molina both converged, but both let the ball drop for a leadoff single. David Ross then singled to center field, fouled by a fly by Ellsbury. So Shane Victorino then hit a ground ball to deep short, but Cosma again mishandled it. His second error of the game, and once again the bases were loaded with one out. Pedroia then singled with under the glove of a diving David Freese to make the score 4-0. Ortiz then hit a deep fly to right field, but was robbed of a grand slam by Carlos Beltran. Ross then tagged and scored to give Boston a 5-0 lead. Beltran would leave the game with Robertson moving to right field and John Jay taking over in center. Lester was brilliant for the Red Sox, pitching 7 2/3 scoreless innings. The Red Sox added to their lead in the bottom of the seventh, with Ortiz hitting a 2-run home run off of Kevin Segras to give him a 7-0 lead. After the Red Sox played it another run in the 8th inning, the Cardinals finally got on the board with Matt Holliday leading off the 9th with a home run off of Ryan Dempster. Dempster recovered and closed out the 8-1 victory by striking out Matt Adams. Lester was accused of using foreign substance on his glove, but he claimed that it was just rosin, which is legal, and the Cardinals organization elected not to file a complaint. So game 2 obviously was a must-win for the Cardinals to get back into the series, to even the series at 1-1. They did that. They won 4-2. The first 3 innings were scoreless between Boston and St. Louis. St. Louis went up 1-0. Now Michael Walker pitched against John Lackey. After 3 scoreless innings, Matt Holliday led off the 4th inning for the Cardinals with the triple to center field. After Matt Adams lined out, catcher Yadier Molina grounded out softly to Dustin Pedroia to score Holliday and give the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. The Red Sox threatened in the bottom half as the first 2 batters reached, with Pedroia leading off with a double. David Ortiz drawing a walk. Mike Napoli then grounded into a double play to partially kill the threat. And Walker got Johnny Gomes to pop out to Matt Carpenter to end the inning. In the bottom of the 6th, the Red Sox finally got on the scoreboard as Pedroia walked with 1 out, and Ortiz hit a 2-run home run. Ortiz hit a 2-run home run to left center field on a 3-2 changeup to give the Red Sox a 2-1 lead. So in the 7th inning, the Red Sox defense let them down for 1 out and the bases loaded because David Freese walked, John Jay singled, and Daniel DeCasso's walk. Carpenter hit a fly ball to Gomes in left field for the second out. With Pete Cosma, the pitch ran for Freese, scoring on the throw. The gut ball got away from catcher Jared Sotomayor. Jay and DeCasso attempted to advance on a misplay, and pitcher Craig Breslow, who was backing up on the play, tried to get Jay at third, but his throw was wild and went into the stands. Jay scored, and DeCasso went to third as the Cardinals now led 3-2. Now here's Carlos Beltran, who came up. He singled to right, scored DeCasso, and gave the Cardinals a 4-2 lead. Things got a little interesting in the bottom of the 8th. with Carlos Martinez on the mound for the Cardinals. The Red Sox had Jacoby Ellsbury reach on an error, and after 2 strikeouts, Ortiz reached on a single. So with 2 outs, Martinez jammed Napoli. He popped up to short to end the inning. In the bottom of the 9th with a 4-2 lead, closer for the Cardinals, Trevor Rosenthal, entered the game and made quick work of the Red Sox by striking out Gomes, Saltel Lamacchio, and pinch hitter Daniel Nava on 17 pitches. Now, the Cardinals evened up the series at 1 game apiece, and the series shifted for 3 games at St. Louis. And with this win, St. Louis snapped Boston's 9-game winning streak in the World Series. Game 3, St. Louis handled their business. They won 5-4. Cardinals got off to a good start in the bottom of the 8th on the first inning, putting 2 on the board from R&B singles by Matt Holliday and Yadier Molina off of Boston starter Jake Peavy. It wasn't until the top of the 5th inning before the Red Sox got on the board themselves, when pitch hitter Mike Carp grounded into a fielder's choice off of Cardinals starter Joe Kelly. In the next inning, Boston tied the game at 2-2 on a Daniel Nava single. But in the bottom of the 7th, Matt Holliday hit a line drive off of reliever Junichi Tozawa that just got past the diving Xander Bogaerts that drove into, and Holliday advanced to third on the throw. Even though this happened with no outs, Holliday was stranded at third. Boston quickly responded in the top of the 8th by loading the bases of Carlos Martinez. Trevor Roosevelt came into pitch. The first batter he faced, Daniel Nava, grounded into fielder's choice after a great diving stop by rookie second baseman Colton Wong. The next batter, Xander Bogaerts, bounced the ball up the middle for an RBI single of his own, knotting the game at 4-4. So in the bottom of the 9th, Boston reliever Brandon Workman stayed in, having pitched in the 8th inning, having batted in the top of the 9th, striking out in his first possession of professional at bat. He gave up a one-out single to Molina. Boston closer Koji Yahara was brought in to face pitch hitter Alan Craig, who doubled on the first pitch. With 1 out, John Jay hit a grounder to second baseman. Thus with joy, he made a stop and stab and threw home to catch Jared Saltalamacchia, who tagged out the sliding Molina, but then Saltalamacchia threw to third, trying to get Craig, who was running on the play. Saltalamacchia's throw was wide, and it pulled third baseman Will Middlebrooks toward the second base side of the bag. Middlebrooks tried to keep the ball on the field, but it skipped into foul territory. Craig slid into third, popped up, started for home. He made a contact with Middlebrooks, who was lying face first in the dirt with his feet in the air. Craig fell, got back up, ran home. Saltalamacchia, receiving the throw from foul territory, applied the tag to the sliding Craig. However, the third base umpire Jim Joyce called obstruction on the play. Home plate umpire Dana DeMoff determined that Craig would have scored without obstruction, giving the Cardinals the win and a 2-1 lead in the World Series. The Red Sox were furious about the call as manager John Farrell stayed out to argue the call, as did most of the players. He protested that Middlebrooks' feet were in the air as he was getting up when Craig ran over him. The largest paid crowd in the history of the Busch Stadium saw the game. It was the first time in a World Series game that winning play was on an obstruction call. So, pivotal game 4 had to be definitely pivotal for both teams, especially for Boston, who was trailing 2-1 in the series. So game 4, Boston was able to get 4-2 win to tie the series at 2-2. So it's 4-2 in favor of Boston in game 4 to tie the series at 2-2. First 2 innings were scoreless until the 3rd inning. After Boston starter Clay Buchholz pitching through a shoulder injury was removed for a pinch hitter after 4 innings, 5 Red Sox relievers combined to hold St. Louis to 1 run on 3 hits in the rest of the way. In the 6th inning, the bases were empty with 2 outs for Dustin Pedroia's single. David Ortiz walked. Outfielder Johnny Gomes came to bat. Carlos brought in Seth Manis to face him, and Gomes worked the count to 2-2 before he broke the tie with a 3-run homer that would become the difference in the game. The game ended with closer for Boston, Koji Yahara picked off pitch runner Colton Wong with Carlos Beltran at the plate, making the first postseason game in baseball history to end on a pickoff. However, it was not the first time a World Series game ended with a runner being tagged out during that bat, because in the 1926 World Series, Babe Ruth was caught stealing for the final of Game 7. So Let's go into game 5. This is critical game 5 right here, 2-2. Whoever win this game eventually will go on and win the series. So game 5, Boston was able to get the job done. The pitchers duel, 3-1, to take a 3-2 series lead. John Lester and Adam Wainwright were the pitchers to start. The same pitch that went up against each other in game 1. So this was a pitcher's duel of the highest order. Boston scored first for the first time since game 1 when Dustin Pedroia and David Ortiz hit a back-to-back doubles with one out in the first inning. Matt Holliday tied the score with a home run into center field in the 4th inning, but it would be the only run Lester will allow over 7 2/3 strong innings of work. So Wainwright matched Lester into the 7th inning when a ground rule RBI double by David Ross, RBI single by Jacoby Ellsbury, scored Xander Bogaerts and Stephen Drew to give Boston a 3-1 lead. Koji Yohara relieved Lester with 2 outs in the 8th and retired all 4 Cardinals he faced to earn his 2nd save of the series. Yohara tied John Wetland, Rob Nen, Troy Percival, Brad Lidge for most saves in one postseason year with 7. In addition, Lester joined Babe Ruth as the only Red Sox left-handers to win 3 World Series games. Next, we got Game 6. Obviously, the series is on the line for both teams. Boston's trying to advance and win the championship. St. Louis trying to force a 7th final game, but it was all for naught because Boston won 6-1. After 2 scoreless innings, Boston was able to get 3 runs in the 3rd and 3 runs in the 4th. And that was it. They was able to win 6-1 to win the championship. They won by scoring 6 runs off of Cardinals rookie Michael Wacha, who had previously been unbeaten in the playoffs. World Series most valuable player David Ortiz was walked by the Cardinals 4 times and scored twice. Boston Shane Victorino opened the scoring with a 3-run double in the 3rd inning, had 4 runs batted in. John Lackey, the pitcher of the Red Sox, pitched 6 scoreless innings. The Cardinals only seriously threatened in the 7th inning when they scored on Carlos Beltran's single and had the bases loaded with 2 outs. But Boston reliever Junichi Tazawa got the final out. Koji Yara came in again to pitch a perfect ninth, striking out Matt Carpenter, swinging to end the game baseball season, and clinched their 8th overall title. So with this win, Boston won the championship at Fenway Park for the first time since 1918. The win was 3rd championship in the last 10 seasons for the Red Sox. As of 2019, this is the most recent World Series in which the championship was won by the home team. So that was the best of times for St. Louis to try to win the championship for the first time in the last 3 years. But they didn't do it. And that's it. That concludes a look at 2013 St. Louis Cardinals. This is part 50 of the professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. Part 50. The team 2013 St. Louis Cardinals. Please like, subscribe, comment on the channel. Till then, talk to you tomorrow.